Stuart Deal with Cow Herd Management here with your weekly recap for Friday, September the 17th. It's a good week here. We're starting to get a little dry. We got a little half-inch rain Wednesday, but it seems like all around us they got 2.5 inch and a half. So right here locally we're getting pretty dry. But today I had to take a trip up to Columbia, Missouri, and driving along about a 3-hour trip from here. And I noticed, along the drive, it was pretty green most of the drive. Lots of round bales sitting out in the field, yet to be hauled. So it doesn't seem like, we're far from a drought situation. Don't get me wrong, but our fall pastures are starting to get a little short, and our growing season's starting to get a little short. So we could use some pretty timely rains here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the board here. The January feeder cattle board just didn't gain any traction all week. We started off the week, Monday was down. Tuesday we gained a little ground back, and it closed. January closed today at $1.57. April live cattle closed at $1.35. Tuesday we was hoping maybe we could gain some ground back to $1.40. But it just didn't happen. As far as local sale barn reports go, I did not get a chance to get around or talk to anybody, any specific quotes. I did hear just a little bit of chatter that the guy said that feeder cattle took a nosedive, but I'd be more willing to bet that it was the milk fat balling calves, unvaccinated bull calves, unweaned, that really stood on their nose. And I mean, if you ever started cattle this time of year, if you ever started cattle, period, you know that especially this time of year, them guys just ain't gonna give a whole lot for them because they have to put so much into them. So that's kind of it on the market reports. Not a whole lot to talk about today. I wanted to say something here. I just noticed an article on drovers, and it said that the Biden administration announced a methane reduction effort. And I just get a kick out of it every time they want to start reducing methane gas and get on the global warming. Them billionaires that fly around in their jets, that doesn't have an effect on it. But us guys here in the cattle business that are trying to stomp out a living, we're the ones causing all this climate change and global warming. So you guys out there with cows, just remember you're contributing to global warming. And the billionaires flying around on their jets, they have to fly around on them jets so they can make sure they tell us all what to do and how to live our lives. So I will sell cows to reduce methane as soon as I see Bill Gates walk across the country. Anyways, so on another note, obviously you guys know that inflation is hitting, and it's hitting hard. Our inputs are getting extremely high. Fertilizer has doubled in the last year. Fuel has gone up. And so guys, you got to get them cows pregnant this fall. It's just going to be way too expensive to pack an open cow through the winter. If you'll notice, I did a little video the other day called Adding Value, and I talked about packing open cows around and how it just takes so much of your profit to pack them cows around. You got to get them things pregged, get the opens gone. Quit giving them a second and third chance. Your wife's only going to yell at you for so long. Anyways, one last story here. So for last week, I've been trying to track down some water lines. We're going to put in some water tanks and set one of our pastures up a little better to kind of rotate them cows around and be able to better utilize our grass and manage our grass. So I started last week looking for it, and I tell you what, supplies are hard to come by. I couldn't find it locally. We thought we had it found in Kansas on Tuesday, and I sent a guy headed that way. He got about halfway there, and they called me and told me they didn't have it anymore. So thankfully, I was able to keep myself in a calm, rational headspace and did not have a complete meltdown on the guy. And he was a nice enough guy that he helped me. He made some phone calls and got it tracked down in Columbia, Missouri. So I had to make that 3-hour drive up there to get that today. So anyways, we got it. We will get that project knocked out next week, but just keep those things in mind, guys. You know, inflation's hitting our inputs, and really the availability of supply is, I know there's a lot of people that have understood that for a long time, and you're probably looking at me thinking, well, duh. But, you know, we just hadn't done many projects in the last year, so we hadn't really needed to track down any supplies outside of the ordinary stuff, you know, in the last year. So it was a pretty eye-opening experience for me. So I think, you know, we may have to think about buying ahead, you know, this fall and this winter, whatever that might be it fertilizer, hay, any other supplies we might need. Just because this inflation, guys, it's getting out of hand. I mean, you know, the government's telling us it's transitionary and it's 10 or 12%. Well, hogwash. It's every bit of 19 or 22%. Things have just gone up way too much. So anyways, that's it for Friday. We'll see you next week.